Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide you with trusted information for you to use to make decisions. I've taken a pause because I want to be comprehensive with this clip, and I also want to ensure that I'm providing a balanced view on a matter of importance to many people. In every society, particularly those that use election to establish governance, leadership of that society, it is always advised and is best that there is a balance of power to protect the people. And a balance of power to protect the people means that you rotate leadership and do not have any one party, one person, one unit, one system be there forever. Because, and I want to say this to you, so you can understand clearly, absolute power corrupts. Let me say it again. Absolute power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, for one to reduce absolute power, you need to have continuous change of leadership to ensure that no one becomes corrupt, or no system, no institution, no government, no legislation becomes corrupt to protect a system, which is fundamentally a part of the reason why embedded in the US Constitution is not to allow any one person to have absolute power, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now, what we're having in Jamaica at the moment is a system in which the JLP are currently in leadership. And to protect the people of Jamaica, we need to have a change in government so as not to have absolute power given to the JLP. Now, those persons who are supporters, empathizers, or favor the system or institutions or even party of the Jamaica Labour Party may not want to objectively look at what I'm saying. I may want to think that, listen, Paul, what you're saying is absolute nonsense. But I'm saying to you, if any individual in life is given reign forever, he or she will become corrupt, because absolute power corrupts people, and power is a dangerous tool in the hand of any human. And I want to repeat that. Power is a dangerous tool in the hand of any human. Him being Christian or non Christian does not change the fact that he is human. And therefore, no individual, institution, government, person, or any source should be given absolute power, and that power continuously. If an individual is given power or institution absolutely, then there's going to be no checks and balance that will ensure that that person remains fair, remains just, remain equitable, and do things at all times to benefit all men. Power is going to corrupt after a certain time. And that is why institutions that are going up for election, going up for leadership, must not remain in power absolutely. the check and balance for that human with the power is to be voted out and then be voted in, because that creates a balance that the person or institution knows full well that he or it is unable to do things absolutely because there's checks and balance. The check and balance here means people will vote you out in the event you think you are God. We need to understand clearly that the current People Party, led by the Honorable Mr. Mark Golden, is not giving Jamaicans a viable alternative to check or to balance the power given to Mr. Andrew Holness and by extension the JLP. The current People's National Party administration has not instituted and framed a program which is going to be a viable check and balance for the Jamaica Labour Party. And that is a travesty, because what that is doing is giving absolute power to the JLP, and absolute power to the JLP to any human will corrupt. Absolutely. That is a part of the reason why any individual who is given power, and we're speaking about political power, any individual who's given absolute power will go on a rampage and do anything that he or she wants, desire, vision, without thinking of another, because he or she has absolute power. It is that absolute power that will corrupt. Because that he or it is unable to be rival, to be guided, or to be sanctioned because he or she has absolute power. Now, is the PNP a viable alternative to the Jamaica Labour Party at the moment in terms of their programs? And the answer is no. The People's National Party has not formulated a viable structure, viable alternative to indicate to the people of Jamaica that we are a viable alternative. The current People's National Party's program, policies, mandate is not fashioning to create a balance of power with the JLP. And if it is that the People's National Party current structure, mandate, and articulated ideas is not a viable alternative, we are creating absolute power for the JLP. And that absolute power for the JLP is going to corrupt the JLP. And the corruption that is going to actually materialize here is when the JLP, through the Prime Minister, will be able to do anything without thinking about a balance, without thinking about their actions will be judged. Their actions are going to be used as a template, as a guide for people to vote them out, because there's an alternative. That check and balance is going to make Jamaica a better place if it is that the People's National Party is a viable option to the JLP. Currently, I am hearing little or no articulation of policies and programs of the People's National Party that will check and balance policies and programs and decisions made by the Jamaica Labour Party through its current leader, Mr. Andrew Holness. People can say whatever you want to say. You may want your party to be in power forever. And I am saying that's a dangerous thing to do in any society. If you give any human absolute power, he or she is going to become corrupt in a short time. It is that absolute power that we are trying to protect in Jamaica. Those persons who are PNP want to protect their side of the coin. Those persons who are JLP want to protect their side of the coin. But we need to understand clearly who protects the people. It is not giving absolute power to a political party that protects the people. We cannot and should not have any one political party ruling Jamaica for any extended, indomitable time that occurred the last time under the People's National Party administration, where they ruled for over 3 terms. It is during that period of time that the People's National Party was able to stay in Jamaica for that extended time that a number of things went down for Jamaica. Corruption was high. A number of silliness and silly decisions were taken. Rampant corruption happened. Why? Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. I do not want to see a Jamaica in which the People's National Party remains in power for more than 2 terms. I do not want to see a Jamaica in which the leaders of the Jamaica Labour Party and the Jamaica Labour Party remains in power for more than 2 terms. Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. It has happened before in Jamaica, where the People's National Party stayed there for over 3 terms. And by staying in power for 3 terms, they felt like they had absolute power. And by feeling that they have absolute power, they executed programs that did not benefit the mass of people in Jamaica, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. That should never happen or occur in Jamaica again. And I do not want the Jamaica Labour Party to remain in power for 3 or more terms, because that will corrupt the society and destroy efficiency, equity, fairness, because they would have thought they had absolute power. And by thinking that they have absolute power, it will corrupt absolutely. And the Jamaican people will not benefit. Therefore, I am saying the People's National Party need to be an alternative, where the Jamaican people can actually vote out the JLP to balance the power. And by balancing the power, the people benefit. But if and when the People's National Party is not a viable alternative, then the JLP will get absolute power, and that absolute power will destroy the people of Jamaica. Hence, the People's National Party need to be an alternative, that the people of Jamaica can vote out the JLP, replace the JLP with the PNP to balance power. Then if the PNP is not performing as they want, vote the PNP out and replace the PNP with the JLP. That protects the people, because it protects against absolute power. That is quite a lot to digest. It is something a number of persons do not want to look at. If you're on any of the political divides in Jamaica, whether PNP or JLP, you want your party to remain in power forever. That absolute power is going to corrupt absolutely. And you will be destroyed in the process. Or if not you, your family members. If not you, the people in your society. If not you, Jamaicans. We do not want any political party in Jamaica to feel they have absolute power. And because of that, The other party that is not in power needs to be a viable alternative so as to balance perceived power. We can't have a society in which no political party considers itself to have absolute power over the people, to have absolute power over the electoral system, to have absolute power over structure and governance, because that absolute perceived power will destroy absolutely. Thank you very much. What are your views? Like, share, and comment. I want to hear what you have to say.